Okay, so now today in this lecture we will learn various networking devices, and we will first know how there are different networking devices exist, and then we will explain one by one about these devices. Okay, so our objective is to learn various networking devices. Okay, now coming to the first networking devices that we will discuss later briefly is first networking devices is your repeater. All of you heard the name repeater. Now repeater, coming to the repeater is a layer 1 device. Okay. Layer 1 device means it operates in the physical layer. It operates is the physical layer. Now I am discussing some of the characteristics of each of the devices, and later we will discuss it broadly. Okay, now repeater is a layer 1 device. Layer 1 device means it is operated at the physical layer, and it is totally a hardware devices. It's totally a hardware devices. No software is being installed within the repeater. Okay, now the function of the repeater, coming to the function of the repeater, it regenerates the signal. It just regenerates the signal coming to its input. Okay, so this is the characteristics. First device is your repeater. Now repeater is a layer 1 device. It operates in the physical layer. Now in the OSI model, first layer is your physical layer, and this device is totally hardware devices. That means no software is being installed within the devices, and it is not very intelligent device. So the function of the repeater is to regenerate the signal. Now coming back to the second device is your hub. Now the characteristics, coming to the characteristics of the hub. Okay, now the characteristics of hub, it is also a layer 1 devices. It is also a layer 1 device. Layer 1 device means it is also operates in the physical layer. Okay, now the function, coming to the function of this hub is broadcast the signal. Broadcast the signal. This also operates in the local area network. Okay, so it's also broadcast the signal coming to its input. Okay, so the next networking devices is your switch. Now switch, all of you heard the name switch. Now switch is a layer 2 devices. It is also a networking device, and it also a layer 2 device, and it's interconnect the connect it also switch is also a local area networking device. It's connect the devices in the same local area network. Okay, same local area network with the same protocol being connected. Okay, it's suppose there is a LAN is being connected. Within the LAN, the switching being used, the device different within the single LAN, there are different devices, so it can connect this. Now coming back to the switch is a layer 2 device. Layer 2 device means it operates in the data link layer. It operates in the data link layer. Now the function of the switch is an intelligent device. Unlike the repeater and the hub, it is not as dumb as that. So it is an intelligent device. Why it is an intelligent device? Because it operates on the MAC address table. Okay, as it is a networking device, sorry, it is also a layer 2 device, so it stores the MAC address table. Now the MAC address tables means stores the MAC address tables. MAC address table means physical address of the different stations. So MAC address. It stores the MAC address table. So if it stores the MAC address table, that means which data is to be sent to which machine. It can easily send the data from one device, that means MAC address of the another one device, to the another device, MAC address of the another device. Suppose tables means what? There is a table situated in within that. So this is the MAC address, and from this MAC address the destination address is also being stored. So from which MAC address to which MAC address data to be transmitted, it can easily do that. Okay, so that is the function of the switch, and it is a intelligence device. So next device is come to your bridge. Okay. Now coming to the bridge is also a layer 2 device. It is also a layer 2 device. Now bridge is a it also connects the local area network that running with the same protocol. That means it connects the different local area network. Suppose there is a LAN 1, there is a LAN 2, and both this local area network, if both this local area network running with the same protocol, then it can connect these two devices. Bridge can connect these two local area network. Okay, now you can think that the bridge is a combination of hub and switch. Okay, combination of the, sorry, not hub and switch, it is a combination of the repeater and the MAC address capability. That means it is a combination of the repeater and switch. It is a combination of your repeater and switch. That means it can perform the characteristics performed by the repeater, and it can also have the capability of MAC address reading capability. So it can also function the same function performed by the switch. Okay, and it also operates in the data link layer, that means layer 2 devices, and it's connect the two LAN within the networking. It connects the two LAN running with the same protocol. The same protocol is very much important, because if the protocol is different, that means it cannot connect the two LAN. If the two LAN are running with the different protocols, okay, if the two network are with the different protocol, then it cannot connect this. Okay, so bridge can connect only the two network with the same protocol. That is the thing. And it has also the capability of a repeater, that means it can regenerate the signal also, and it has the capability of the MAC address capability. MAC address capability means it can identify from which machine, which station data is to be transmitted to the another station. So the last networking device that we want to discuss is your router. Now the router is a layer 3 device. Obviously it is a layer 3 device. Now the layer 3 device means it operates in the network layer. So router operates in the network layer. So whatever we have discussed, the repeater operates in the physical layer. Hub also operates in the layer 1 device, so it operates in the physical layer. Switch is a layer 2 device, operates in the data link layer. Bridge also a layer 2 device, operates in the data link layer. Now coming back to the router is a layer 3 device, operates in the network layer. Now the function of the router, what are the disadvantages of the bridge? That means bridge can only connect, okay, bridge can only connect the two network. This is the network 1, this is the network 2, and within that network there is a different station are situated, but these two network running with the same protocol. So bridge can connect these two devices. So it cannot connect the devices. Suppose there is a network 1, there is a network 2, okay, and these two network with the different protocol. Then what happen? If we connect the bridge within that, the bridge device, then the two network cannot be communicate with each other. So in spite of this bridge, so that is the disadvantage of the bridge. So then comes the router. So you have to place the router. So router can communicate the two network, communicate between the two network that runs with different protocols. Okay, different protocols mean there is a LAN device situated, LAN, and there is a Wi-Fi. Okay, so there may be a Wi-Fi network situated, so it can connect with these two devices. And also coming back to the router can in the case of the switch, it has the MAC address forwarding capability. That means it can forward the data based on the MAC address. Okay, but in the router, it makes the forwarding decision. It makes the forwarding decision. So forwarding means data to be transmitted from one node to another node or one device to another device. So that decision is based on the MAC address in the case of the switch, but the forwarding decision make in the case of the router is based on the IP addresses or the logical address. Okay, so based on the IP addresses, this forwarding decision is taken by the router. Okay, so router also software is being installed. Software installed within the router so that it can take very intelligent decision from data packet from which device or which network is to be sent to the another network. That forwarding decision is made by the router table, or that can be happen with the case of the software. So it is not a hardware device. Software is being installed so that it can stores the table or stores the algorithm that runs the router, and it can take the forwarding decision based on this consultation of the algorithm or consultation with the different table. It can takes this forwarding decision. So that is the purpose of the router. So that are the devices we have discussed. Now we will next discuss the first networking devices, that is your repeater, hub, switches, bridges, router, one by one. Okay, so the first device we like to discuss is your repeater. Repeater. Now repeater, in the case of the repeater, previously we have discussed the repeater operates in your physical layer. So it is a layer 1 devices. Now I'm just drawing a, suppose this is your repeater and we have connected a network or the LAN with some of the station attached with like this. So this is your one of the station, suppose station A or the network A, and you may consider this is your network B, and signal is being transmitted from like this in this way through the repeater. And it is also a hardware device. I have said that it is purely a hardware device, no software is being installed into the repeater. So whenever we have discussed the repeater, the function of the repeater, I have said that it regenerate the signal. So the function of the repeater, so repeater, in the case of the repeater, it is a physical layer device, so that means it is a layer 1 device. And also the function of the repeater is it can regenerate the signal coming to its input. Now to understand the repeater in a simple way, we have drawn a circuit. So this is your repeater, a device, and this is a one network, network A, and we have connected some of the, you can see some of the devices within the network, and this is the network B, and we have connected also some of the devices within this network. And this is the signal. This signal is being transmitted like this from the network A to the network B. Okay, now what is the requirement of the repeater that we have discussed, we want to discuss. So in the telecommunication, in a very technical term, in telecommunication, it is being used very extensively. So in the telecommunication network, repeater is electronic device. It is a hardware device, I have already said that receives the signal and retransmit it. Okay, so it receives the signal and retransmit it. Repeater is used to extend the transmission. Repeater is being used to extend the transmission so that the signal can cover a longer distance. Okay, that means this signal is being transmitted like this, in this way, and repeater is being used so that this signal can be transmitted. So this is a suppose a line. Previously there was a line, and supposed to be suppose you just forget about this network A and network B concept here from there. So suppose there is a line like this, and all of the devices is being connected and signal is being transmitted like this. Okay, now without the repeater what happens, suppose this is a cable. This cable is a capability means suppose the characteristics of this cable is being written down is suppose 10 base 2 like this. So characteristics is stable, cable is being written down 10 base 2. So what is the meaning of this 10 base 2? Suppose this is a 10 base 2 cable. So this is a 10 base 2 cable. So what is the meaning of the 10 base 2? So 10 base 2 is among the family of the Ethernet network or the local area network that uses a thinner version of the coaxial cable to establish a network path or with a speed of 10 Mbps to carry out the baseband transmission. Okay, now within the 10 Mbps baseband transmission speed, the signal which can transmit faithfully within this coaxial cable, so the range of this is, so the speed of is 10 Mbps speed it is used 10 Mbps, and the distance maximum it can cover within the 10 Mbps speed is 200 meter faithfully. Okay, so signal can faithfully transmit or can cover the distance 200 meter faithfully within these characteristics. So if we just and 200 meter is the ultimate range, the actual range is 185 meter actual range. So you can see the characteristics of this cable, that how the cable strength is being signal strength. This is the signal strength. So how the signal strength is being diminished after the 185 meter or more technically after the 200 meter, how the signal strength is being diminished. So that's why you have to use the repeater for that purpose, to regenerate the signal. It actually regenerate the signal. So now in the telecommunication it is happens, repeater are being used to extend the transmission. So it is being used to extend the transmission, so that the transmission of the signal can happen over a longer distance. Okay, so that extend the transmission so that it can cover a longer distance or be received at the side of the obstruction, so that no obstruction is being happen or the signal strength would not be diminished. Okay, now there is a difference between the amplifier and repeater. Amplifier is amplifies the signal, but repeater also you may think that the signal strength is being diminished, so it can also amplify the signal, but that is not the case. Amplifier can amplify the signal 2x time, 3x time, 4x time like that, but what the function of the repeater is, that repeater is actually amplify the signals to its original level only. It takes the bit by bit signal and it only restores the signal to its original level, not that the higher level than the original level. So but the amplifier can amplify the signal with this strength, that means the 2x time, 3x time, 4x time like that. So there is a difference between that. Okay, there is a telephone repeater, that means the landline repeater. Landline repeater is mostly used in the trunk line call to carry the long distance call. That means we are talking over a telephone line. Now our voice signal strength is being diminished over or being reduced over a longer distance. So the the person who are receiving our call at the other side or situated after 1000 kilometers, so he cannot hear our signal properly because the signal strength is being reduced. So repeater is used after certain distances based on this characteristics, that means the cable characteristics, so that the person or the other side can receive or taken our call or hear our call properly. Okay, so there is a fine difference between the repeater and the amplifier. There is a very fine difference. You must study thoroughly about the difference between that. I have already said that. Okay, so now coming back to the characteristics of the repeater, how the what are the characteristics of the repeater. So repeater is a two-port device, because one port is being connected to this and another port, so this is the two-port device. Okay, next characteristics is forwarding. So it is not a very intelligent device based on the forwarding, like the your switches which consult the MAC address table, or the router which consult the IP address to take the forwarding decision. So it is not very much intelligence. It only transmit the signal coming to its inputs, and it's restored to the original level and transmit it. There is no other function other than this. Okay, if it finds that the signal strength is reduced, it's restored back to the original level and forwarded. There is no other criteria is being matched to forward the signal, so it performs the forwarding signal, and it does not consult the MAC address table or the IP address table to make its forwarding decision. Okay, so that is the second characteristics. And no filtering. No filtering means all of you know the term of the English literature meaning of filter. So it cannot suppose there is a repeater, there is a mix of signal coming, so you want that some of the signal to be passed through this and some of the signal don't pass through this. That has not the capability. It has not the filtering capability. Okay, that means it cannot filter out or differentiate between the signal coming to its inputs. It cannot differentiate that the which signal is to be blocked. The sum of the, you want some of the signal to be blocked, some of the signal to be passed through this repeater, but then there is a wrong device. It cannot perform the filtering operation efficiently. Okay, so you have to make use of the another device to make up the filtering decision, or another device which can install the software and make the decision based on that. So this is the third characteristics. And coming back to the fourth characteristics of the repeater, in the collision domain. So it is a two-port device. That means it can signal can transmit in that direction, signal can transmit in that direction, but it has no buffer. So suppose at a time happen that the signal is coming to in that direction and signal is coming also in that direction, so some of the signal may be lost because it cannot store the signal coming to its input, so that it can send the signal of its capability one time and later the buffer signals to be passed to the later time. So this collision domain is also not be very much efficiently implemented in the case of the repeater. Okay, so that are the some of the characteristics of the repeater and how repeater is being used, where it is being used. Okay, so and I have also said the use of this repeater is being first used in the landline repeater. Okay, there is also submarine cable repeater, and there is also optical communication repeater. The optical transmission happens like this. There is also radio repeater. Radio repeater extends the range of the cover of a radio signal. The radio relay in happens is very long ago. Okay, the relay system, the broadcast relay system, microwave relay system, passive repeater, cellular repeater, amateur radio repeater. There is a different type of repeater is being used in the case of the radio repeater. Okay, and there is nowadays there is also digital repeater, binary digital signal, on the analog repeater. There is also differentiate between the analog repeater and the digital repeater, like that. Okay, so repeater is a very good device. If you use it properly, it can make your communication very much efficient. Okay, but it is not a very intelligent device like your switches or the router, which can takes its forwarding decision very efficiently. Okay, so in the next lecture we will talk about the hub and the another devices. Thank you.